Oh God, this was weird. Hi everyone, Angelina, Sparkling Diva, I'm back. I thought it was about time to do another video again. I was laughing because earlier on I took a few pictures and I used the timer. And apparently that also works when you use the video settings. So I was all smiley and ready to begin my video, and then it was just counting down from 5, 4. It's like, oh my God, no. Anyhow, I'm just wondering how you are all doing with the full moon only. Let's see, just short of 12 hours away, and the energies are building up, etc. Right? I always feel that some 3 to 4 days before it is actually full moon. Sometimes afterwards, I feel a change in energies yet again, because then oftentimes when the full moon was really good to me, the energies, then it just dips all of a sudden. It's just like plunk, it goes down, and then I can feel that, then I was feeling really good during these full moon energies, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, no, please come back. So sometimes after the full moon I can also feel quite a change, and well, like I said, not always really a good one. I have a short message about this full moon if that interests you. I am wondering how you all are doing, because I do know from experience that it is very personal and it can be very different for everyone. Sometimes people feel absolutely wonderful while someone else is actually feeling really, well, crap during the same full moon energy. So it depends on what energies within you are being stirred up by the full moon energies, how what the effect of it is. And for some, I suppose it's usually to do with if it touches upon something that you've already worked through, then it doesn't hit you in a bad way, really. Then you can actually feel good in these energies. Yet, whereas if you still need to work on whatever is being touched by the energies, then it might not be so pleasant. I always feel it's to do with that a lot. But of course, every moon has a bit of a theme as well, and it varies with every moon every year. And this time, at the moment, the moon is in Capricorn, and the sun is shining on the moon from Cancer, because we're in Cancer right now, right? With the summer solstice, we had that on the 21st or the 22nd. Which means that now this time is about maturing, ripening, both in nature but also for us, and also figuratively speaking then, right? Your ideas and plans and things you're busy with, your growth and anything and everything. The theme right now is ripening and maturing. So you can use this time, this energy, to see what in your life still needs more light, so you can allow it to ripen. It also gives energy, and the light, right? Energy activates. It gives the light gives energy and action. You can use that, like the summer is about action, basically, and it also stimulates the nerve system. That's why it also can make you alert and active, and you can use that energy then to be more focused on how you present yourself in the outside world. Because of the Capricorn, you can be more focused on what you have to do, responsibilities. This is not my own stuff, okay? I'm not an astrologer. I will post the link and the name of the person who wrote this underneath in the description box, because I'm basically just now translating it loosely, right? I didn't prepare that, but this is not my own. I'm not an astrologer. I do read the woman's report, full moon report and new moon report every time, because she is bloody good. She's also the woman who made these cards that I've used a couple of times, the moon oracle cards. So this is her report, not mine. For the outside, it can be a bit more difficult to show your feelings, and for the outside world, it can then appear that you emotionally withdraw yourself, and even if that's not really the case. But it's because this moon, the moon in Capricorn, it can even make you a bit more pessimistic, and it can make you busy yourself with practical stuff. Like I just mentioned now, right? The responsibilities, practical stuff, your work, and you can do an awful lot. But you mustn't forget to also pay attention, heed your emotions and your needs, so that you also get what you desire. And because the moon is shining on, the sun is shining on the moon from Cancer, it can also make emotions quite intense. But in spite of that, they are still not really expressed. You could suppress them or try to keep them hidden. That's the Cancer aspect then. Because you want to wait until it's safe, or until you feel safe to express these feelings and emotions. And the we have a double Capricorn effect, basically, because the moon and Saturn are directly opposite one. My brain is just scrambled. I've overworked myself yesterday in the garden, so I'm dizzy again, horribly dizzy. My brain is seriously scrambled. They are opposite of one another, the moon and Saturn is being ruled by Capricorn, and the moon itself right now is in Capricorn, so we have a double Capricorn effect. And so in that sense, it's a bit of a double Capricorn moon. That influence can also make you more serious and a bit more distant. Also in personal relationships. And there is a bit of warning is a bit of a big word, but this thing like an advice, that's better, advice, that if you feel rejected and don't, within personal relationship, right, if you feel rejected and don't pull back and start sulking, but actually express how you feel and ask questions. Did the other person actually mean what you think they meant to say? Because quite likely they didn't, right? So that can happen now because of these energies, that you feel rejected. So then ask for clarification. But there's one, let's see, there's also this wonderful thingy. Saturn is retrograde at the moment in Capricorn, and that gives the opportunity to implement lessons that you've learned in this life and past lives, and by doing that you can actually release karma, and that is wonderful. And you can do that by choosing to do things differently. So if, for instance, you know about a pattern you've always been following, and that doesn't serve you, you can consciously choose to do things differently than you've done it before. And by doing that, you already change these things, and you can release that karma. Because often we do these things, we have these patterns from karmic shit. And the black moon is also in Capricorn, again Capricorn, which can give you clarity about how you position yourself, the roles you play, and acknowledging your own authority. And then it's important that you acknowledge your own authority from the inside out, without being dependent to get that recognition, that acknowledgement from outside, from external sources, from other people, right? So that is also really very important. So I wanted to tell you that. because I find it interesting, and I always like reading that myself to have a bit of an idea of what's going on, what I can expect. To be honest, I myself feel really quite good. I am really tired. I have been tired for a few weeks now. I go to bed earlier as well at the moment. I am. I tend to go to bed really late. I also get up quite late. I'm just not a morning person. I really am not. But I get tired about 3 hours before I usually go to bed. And then I'm talking about tired as in shattered, totaled. And then I usually drag it out for another hour, and then I was like, well, I'm just like sitting here behind my computer watching a series, and I can barely just take it in anymore. I'm going to bed. But overall, I am feeling good. I do feel I need a break, just like you can need a holiday, just some time off, just if it's just me time. But I am, like it said in the moon report, I have been quite active. What I said earlier on, that I seriously overworked myself. That was in the garden. It was horrible. My garden was horrible. I haven't done anything much to the garden for 2 years. I couldn't because of my physical ailments. And then everything got out of hand. I mean, 2 years, and it's a huge garden. And it was only in the designing stages still. So then it just completely got out of hand. And now, yesterday I've been working in the garden, and I was totaled. I was knackered. I'd done too much, so my head is like. And today, this afternoon, I decided, okay, I'm going out. I need a day off, like a holiday day, and and I wanted to get myself a selenite wand. I don't know why. I never felt cold pulled to selenite at all, and all of a sudden I want a wand, a rough one, not a polished one. I couldn't find it anywhere, and my favorite crystal shop, I just somehow felt I wasn't going to find it there. I didn't have to go there, and I felt intuitively felt drawn to go to another town about half an hour's drive from my place, and I went there, and well, guess what I found? I did indeed find my selenite wand. And I'm so happy. It was affordable. It usually is, but some people just still charge a bomb for selenite, and this shop didn't, so I'm really happy with it. It's the size that I wanted it to be. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And then I had so many coincidences today. It's just odd. And I think the full moon has got to do with that as well. My intuition is also working really well, but it was so odd today. I felt called to go to that town. I went there, find that selenite wand that I wanted so much. And then there was this really cute shop next door. They had some jewelry, but it wasn't your regular jeweler shop. It was more like a bit new agey. And I thought, okay, I might go in there and ask if she has an infinity bracelet, a silver infinity bracelet. I've been looking for that for months, and I can't find it. Apparently, it's not really a big thing in my country. I don't know. I can find it online, but then there is these extra costs, like customs and all that shit, and that can add up quite. Then you buy something that costs you some $45, and then you get an extra bill on top of that from customs, which is $35 or something. Well, then it becomes a bit too expensive, right? And so I felt like I have to find it in my own country, and I went into that shop and I asked a woman, and she was just like, I'm not certain. Well, hang about, I think I've got one, and she did. So I now also have my, well, never mind the scratch, that's because I've been wrestling with a bramble in the hedge yesterday, but I have now got my infinity bracelet. It's not exactly the one that I was after, but if that is meant to be with me, then I will find that as well at some point. And I do not mind having 2 infinity bracelets. In the infinity symbol is my power symbol. And I never really understood why until very recently. It's to do with the energies in your body. When you're healthy, they have to cross over, like the infinity symbol. I never knew that. And so it must have to do with that. It has to cross over, like an infinity symbol. And when you're healthy, when you're feeling good, your energies of your body actually do that. And when you're not feeling so good, when you're not healthy, then they go like that. And they are supposed to do this, weave like that, like all these infinity symbols around you. And I found it. I am so happy. I'm really happy about it. And I have more coincidence going on, but yeah, that is a bit personal. So maybe in the near future I will tell you about that. And right now I'm not going to. I'm not going to jinx anything. What I do want to do, since I have done a full moon reading on YouTube, how it's going to affect you. I also did at the end, there's a choice of 3, and at the end I drew 1 card for which you could then just focus, ask a question, any question, and then apply the answer of that card to your question. Well, that was from the Moon Oracle deck. The same woman who writes these moon energy reports that I just loosely translated. And I was thinking, well, it's nice to, I like that deck. And since it's almost full moon, why not use my moon cards another time? So I'm going to do 3 cards. I'm just going to draw 3 cards. Again, do the same thing. If you have a question that you like an answer to. Now, this is not like... these cards are more like stuff you have to sit with yourself, have to think about, right? It's not like a clear yes and no, all like that. These cards don't work that way. These are actually really good cards if you want to do personal growth and work things out yourself a little bit. So some people didn't like them. Well, of course that can happen, right? We all have our preferences. But they do have a statement. There is an advice on them, and a question as well that you can think about. And they can actually be really quite deep. I sometimes just pull a card. Just 1 card is enough. So that's what I'm going to do, so you can... Whoops, almost dropped the whole lot on the floor. They're quite slippery. Just focus on something you want an answer to. You can also do 3 things if you want. So you can either go for 1, numbers 2, or number 3. And then I'm first going to do, I have to move the camera because usually cards start flying all over the place with a slippery deck, and I want to be above the table when I shuffle. And my wand, I'm so happy with it. It is also actually connected to the moon. Selenite. Selene. Huh. I hadn't even thought of that. I'm so happy. Anyhow. It's here, right? It's here, right with the cards. Numbers 1, I'm going to get you, just focus on your question. See if something comes up. Well, that's about 20 cards. Let's not do that. Numbers 1. This one. I'm going to go with that one. That is a card of the blood moon. For the numbers 1. Wisdom and an offering or a sacrifice can be, it's slightly different, but can translate to either. They're in Dutch, so I have to translate them as we go. Blood moon. Knowing is knowledge. Doing is wisdom. Which experience do you need to become wiser? implement a new insight. So that is your message, something you have to just sit with yourself and ponder on. Which experience do you need to become wiser? So this is really about wisdom, not about knowing, not about knowledge, right? There's a vast difference between that. You can be very knowledgeable, but still not be very wise. It's a totally different thing to be knowledgeable or to be wise, to have wisdom. So which experience do you need to become wiser and implement a new insight? So meaning you have to start doing something with that as well. So if you do have if you have had an insight, then start acting upon it, start doing something with it. I hope you can make sense of that. Okay, I'm not going to elaborate on it because this is really very personal, and this is how these cards work. So yeah, it's personal. If you don't like it, so be it. You know, there's going to be different readings again in the near future. That where I will explain more, but yeah, I just like these cards. So numbers 2, I'm gonna now do your card, so just have your question in mind and let's see what comes up. Numbers 2, well, there we have one. We have the oh wow, I like that, the tree moon. Look at that, it's a phoenix. It's also about death and resurrection, hence the phoenix, with a full moon symbol next to it. So it's, well, I interpret that as it is going on right now, because the full moon is about fruition, it being fertile right now. Like with the, I always have to think, waning, waxing, yeah, with a waxing moon, it's increasing, right? Then it's still growing, and you can still plant seeds that will grow, and you know, and with the waning moon, things are decreasing, and this is a full moon symbol here, meaning it's whatever it's about, it's full right now, it's ready right now, it's ripe, it's, you know. How do I translate that? Death and resurrection are connected. What makes you feel limited? And is this the actual truth? Are you really limited? Rid yourself of a imaginary ball and chain and celebrate your freedom. So that's what this is all about. Do you feel limited? And is that actually true? Is it actually reality, or is it just something that you feel and believe and think? Is that actually true? Are you actually really limited? And well, rid yourself, if that's the case, just rid yourself of an imaginary ball and chain and celebrate your freedom. Be like the phoenix. Be like that phoenix. Rise up from your ashes. You can let go of something and then rise again, you know, completely cleansed in the fires and new, like the phoenix does. I like this. I love this. I always feel drawn to phoenix. I don't know exactly why, but I always like it. So I hope that makes sense to you with your question, that you can relate to it. And then I'm going to go on with the numbers 3. So number 3 is a focus on your question. Number 3, an answer for the number 3. Card number 3. There we have one here. Oh, isn't that nice? because there's also 12 cards in this deck, for each one card for each sun sign, and now we have a card from a sun sign, and this is Aries, the Aries card. And Aries is about being a bit like a warrior, fighting, a warrior. It pays off. It's like, yeah. Well, I have to just translate here. Like, it might not be 100%. You know, I'm lost now completely. Perfect English, let me put it that way. It is better to fight for something than against something. That is the statement, and that is true. That really is true. Is fighting against something is usually just stress, causes stress, makes you angry, just is negative. It's negative. And if you fight for something, then yeah, that's far more positive. How can you be a peaceful warrior or fighter? Well, warrior, it actually really says warrior, the Dutch word for warrior. Show your vulnerability, because that too is a strength. Wow, I like that. I like that. I think for most, that is actually the message. Show your vulnerability, because that too is a strength. And I think that ties in directly with fighting against things, because often you do that when you feel a bit vulnerable, and to hide that. You usually do that to hide that you actually are vulnerable, feel vulnerable, maybe don't have all that much confidence in a certain situation or with a certain person, and then you can do that. And it's somehow it always seems easier to then just become nasty or lash out than just to be soft and to remain in love and to just show your vulnerable side. Like, you know, I hope that resonates, and that it actually is congruent with the question that you focused on. And if not, well, I can't be helped. This is what the cards came up with, and you know, I always believe that the cards don't lie, and usually they don't. I don't think I've ever come across that they, yeah. You can misinterpret them, of course, right? But the cards themselves are always... Often what can happen is that you don't like the message from a card, and that you then get, it's not true, it's not correct. But the cards never really lie, they don't. It's us who often feel that they do, because we can't handle the message. Anyhow, I simply hope it resonates. It was just a bit of fun that I just threw in as an extra, because I just felt like it, you know. And oh my God, 27 minutes. Ooh, oh, best hang up. And I'm going to wish you a wonderful full moon time. Don't forget to put out your crystals and crystal skulls and whatever if you want them cleansed with this energy. Or I actually don't use the full moon energy to cleanse. I use it to charge, but okay. And you know, you can put them in the window, put them outdoors in your garden, on the balcony, whatever. They kind of like that. I'm going to do that as well this moon. And be back again really soon. Bye bye.